it doesn't want to work with me today. Week 11. This is week 11 of The Artist's Way. I can't believe we made it this far. This is crazy. This week is about recovering a sense of autonomy. And to be honest, I had a lot of notes on, not a lot of notes, but I had I couldn't find the link between the essays and the tasks necessarily. I think it was in this, there was this, one of the essays was about the Zen of sports. And maybe I understood it wrong. Maybe I'm one of those people on TikTok who easily get offended when they see something that doesn't translate. And maybe I didn't require enough critical thinking, but it said it is one of the pitfalls of Westerners adopting Eastern meditation techniques to bliss out and render ourselves high but dysfunctional. My comment was WTF, because I literally wrote that because I was like, what do you mean? Are you dissing white people for taking something from Eastern culture and ruining it? Because if that's what you're saying, I agree. We're on the same page. But if you're saying that they began their downfall when they started learning from Eastern culture, or if you're dissing anything related to meditation practices that originated from Eastern cultures, deeming them dysfunctional or deeming the result of it dysfunctional, honey, I beg to differ. I beg to differ, given that everything you have in your book heavily relies on meditation. And meditation and manifestation and abundance and all these lovely words that you've taken from Eastern cultures. You've not taken it from here at all. And a lot of the things that you think you've taken from Christianity was taken from paganism, was taken from witchcraft. It's not actually Christianity. So I was very concerned about that sentence. And I'm very glad that I have critical thinking sometimes when I'm reading, so I can point out things that I'm like, that sounded wrong. And I don't just read it and take it at face value. And I'm gonna have to admit that the essay about working out or moving is a bit too long. So maybe it's very targeting Westerners at the end of the day. We get it. We should work out. I think every doctor on this planet agrees. I don't think you need to fill out 4.5 pages to tell me that. Here's the funny thing. When you write that meditation is dysfunctional, maybe I read it wrong. Again, I'm really not sure. Please tell me in the comment section if you're offended. But if you wrote that you think meditation is dysfunctional and working out is another type of meditation, I partially agree. Of course, like working out is healthy. It's some sort of meditation. But also mindfulness and just sitting still and meditating is a meditation, and it's important, and it's an exercise, whether you believe it or not. It's a workout. But that's not what I'm talking about. The first task to ask to record yourself saying the basic principles and then meditating to that, while saying meditation is not. I was confused with that, but maybe again, I probably misunderstood it, and she's probably saying that adopting meditation without doing anything else is wrong, which is fair. But I just saw the link between the two and I was like, I had to point it out. The rest of the exercises were actually cute. I like that because I was worried about what I will do after this journey's over. And I was worried how I will stay committed. I know I will keep doing the morning pages and I know I will keep doing artist dates, but I wanted to have a clearer idea. And a lot of the tasks here basically ask you to clarify that. to have a concrete plan on how you're going to take care of yourself, not how you're going to make art or how you're going to be creative. It's literally focuses on how you're going to nurture your artist, because I think now we know that this whole worry about not being creative enough or not creating enough is no longer a thing. If I'm taking care of myself and my artist, I know I'll create something. Which leads me to the good news that I finally recorded something. I finally opened my recording session and I started recording for my EP. It may come out, it may not. I don't know. I'm just enjoying the process, and I'm thinking about ways to make it happen. I'm thinking about the images, about the brand of it, about the world that I'm creating in it, and then I'm so excited. So, yeah. I did my morning pages every day. It was interesting to learn that, well, at first what worked out for me was doing the morning pages during my lunch breaks because it was Ramadan. And then after that, I was doing them in the morning before work. And then I was like, actually work is pretty chill, so I'm just going to do it in the morning at work while I have my coffee. And it worked. And then I was like, you know what? I actually like doing it at the end of the day. So I started doing that in the afternoon sometimes. And then I was like, you know what? That's not working out for me anymore. I have to wake up early and do it in the morning. And so when I switched from something I wasn't comfortable with to something I was comfortable with, it fit. But when I tried to I was doing it in the morning, and then I was like, let me try to do it at work one more time, see how that feels. And then it didn't work, so I'm like, yeah. And the parts in the essays where it says like you get irritated when you don't like feed your inner child, your artist child, that's so true. I get so irritated at work. I get so irritated with people around me at home because my artist is not taken care of, I'm not nurtured. Once the artist is taken care of, I can do all the other daily stuff naturally. There was no problem. So, and my artist date this week was actually pretty cute. I took myself on a date to breakfast before work. It was really cute. I just did my morning pages there, and I planned out what I wanted to do with my album, and I started thinking about images and ideas and sounds and what it would sound like. It was really cool. The one thing I didn't know if I should do in writing or should do in this video, and I think I should do it in this video, is re-examining my concept of God and my belief system. And that is very interesting for someone who was raised in a Muslim community. My family and my parents have taught me to believe what makes sense to me. They never forced anything upon me. They never forced anything upon themselves. And they taught me everything that is available. Whatever is available of Judaism, whatever is available of Christianity, and whatever is available of Islam. And they told me to choose. But the community in the schools had majority of Muslim kids, so that's the majority of what I learned. But it was more of a fear tactics and fear infusing techniques rather than inviting children into a religion. Why would you tell a child that for every piece of skin that she's showing, she will get like punished for every cell of her skin? That's just insane, made up things that one insecure person wanted to enforce on another person. It's clear to me now, and I think it was clear to me then, and that's why I got in so much trouble with a lot of the religious teachers. One thing I was told about my music and my talent is that it was a curse. This idea was infused in my head that doing music is wrong. Doing music will get you to hell. Which, by the way, no sources ever claim that. There's no confirmation in any religion that that's correct. It was just made up. It was a bunch of people who didn't want to have fun, wanted other people not to have fun as well, and didn't want to be close to God. I don't know. So there's that concept that it was fed upon me that music is not allowed, music's forbidden. And then I had musical talent and musical inclinations, and I had creative thoughts, and I started writing songs, and it came to me. I didn't, as an 11-year-old, I didn't know that I was not supposed to write. I was just writing. I was just making music. I was singing. It was happening. And then I was told that it was wrong, and I was not supposed to do that. And then when I asked religion teachers, okay, it's wrong, I'm not supposed to do that, why is it coming to me? Why is the music coming to me? She said, this is your test, and you have to pass the test in order for you to be blessed and go to heaven or whatever made up shit. And I was like, but how come other people don't have to go through that test? Like, why me, having something completely pure and natural, being told that I should be punished for it for no reason at all? Why would this God give me this talent and then punish me for it? That makes no sense. That's not a good God. That's not a nice God. That's not the God I want to worship. So then they're like, oh, how could you say that? And then I'm like, okay, you made me hate that God, and then you punish me for doing that. Again, what is this fucked up concept? So obviously I strayed away from it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I still don't want anything to do with it, because that's not what Islam is all about. That's not what any religion is all about. And it was messed up by a lot of closed-minded people, mainly men. So this book helped me look into God differently. Look into God as an entity. Look into God as a kinder creator. Mainly, God is kind. I know it's mentioned in the Quran. I know it's mentioned everywhere that everybody's concept of God should be kind. Everybody's concept of God is kind, because if God is not kind, how are you supposed to continue? Even as a human being in front of you, if this person is not kind, you're not going to like them. Let alone God, your God, whichever God you want to believe in. So I find it insane that my God had to be very cruel to me and no one else. So re-examining my concept of God, I see it more differently. I refer to God as they. I'm not comfortable referring to God as he. I'm not comfortable referring to God as she either. I feel like they is a more fitting pronoun for me, at least. I don't know about that in Arabic. It's complicated in Arabic, but it's different for me in Arabic because it's my original language. But my concept of God is definitely changed. I believe I've been told in Islam that God is generous and kind and forgiving, but not as many times as how cruel and punishing God is. So you see what sticks more with a child? So with this past 11 weeks, I kind of re-examined it and started looking at God as actually kind, forgiving, and generous. And it's good. God is forgiving, but not for the sins of being creative, because God never gave me creativity to punish me. I don't believe that. That's not true. That can't be true. And I pity anybody who had to push away their creative endeavors. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of creatives lost into this lie that this religion came up with. Yeah, so God is generous, giving me all these creative ideas and creative thoughts and creative freedoms. And God is kind because God is gentle with me as I move. God is kind to me with the gifts. God is kind in general as a welcoming entity. Definitely my concept of God has changed. Definitely my concept of God has been corrected. I feel like I've always thought that way. I've always believed there's a different God out there, but I was never allowed to dare to think it. But I don't need to think that there's a different God. I think now I see that I was told a concept of a God that these people wanted to be true for them to feel better about themselves. And I feel like these people want to believe that this God is as insecure as them, or else how would you explain how easily offended they get for a God that's supposed to be almighty and strong? So maybe they shouldn't get offended for that, and maybe God should deal with that. Interesting week. A lot has been learned, and I'm definitely gonna be sad when this is all over. Week 12 is going to be recovering a sense of faith. We'll see what that looks like. I'm excited. I will see you guys next week.